Y'all doing? Happy. The neighbors, I got new neighbors in this front trailer over here, and they put this spotlight on. And now every time I walk outside, it not only lights up my whole front yard and my porch, I feel like I'm on display every time I walk out there at night. And same within my backyard. I don't have to turn on the back porch light in order to see my dogs anymore. And it's like, holy cow. I can't even see I can see the moon, but it's really hard to look at the moon because of that spotlight in my face. So I came in to do a live video, and I'll do my full moon meditation outside after they come home and turn their spotlight off. So how y'all doing? Today's been an intense day. You know, I don't even remember what I was talking about on my video this morning. Well, I know that we were talking about suicide and stuff, but how you doing, Don, Lori? How you guys doing, sweethearts? But somebody asked me if I was go on my YouTube, and I wasn't gonna come on tonight, but why not? So, I probably won't be doing lives on Facebook much anymore, guys. Just to give you a heads up. I'll probably be doing them on here. But I am gonna start offering a class every week. I'm not sure what I'll charge for it, but it's gonna be a creative illuminations class to really help expand the imagination in art and writing and meditation and stuff like that. So, how are you guys feeling? Is this intense for you? I have like 5 masculine that have said that it's really hit them hard today. These energies, hardcore. So how are you guys doing with them? I can't see any comments. I don't know why. Every once in a while I can. But for me, it's been a pretty mild day for me. I've been really tired though. I've been really tired for like 2 weeks. Lori, I'm irritable, but getting through. I was really irritable. I woke up irritable this morning. What are you irritable about, beautiful? What's been irritating me today? I just don't really feel like talking to anybody, being around anybody. I've been in this, what I'm going to say, that Hierophant mode for everything. I've been in that Hierophant mode, just for well, since like the middle of June. I haven't really wanted to really be around anyone physically. Jesse, feel like a lot is going on in the background today. Oh boy. Oh boy. It does feel like that, doesn't it? And it's a good thing. Today is a little bit easier energy wise than yesterday was. Um, but this is really clearing out that, and Lori, observe this, beautiful. Maybe some of this irritation with you is that those thought conscious, those energies of unworthiness and of I've also noticed with myself that before I was becoming impatient and intolerant to to this victimization. I'm very impersonal. You guys know that. And the whole summer, right? And I've come to a space, and maybe you guys can relate to this. For me, I've come to a space where I have little tolerance, little patience for victimization, for that loop, of someone's bad, someone's good, someone's a victim, someone's a villain. And this past week, it's really been hitting me hard. And so for me, I have to step back, especially because I do guidance sessions, and with these energies, it's really people are really, really touchy, you know about things. And it's, if you don't say something just the right way, because the English language has so many flippin' definitions for words, you know, it sets people off. And because I'm one of these that are so good at, not that I try, I'm just a teller of unpopular truths. I have been my whole life, and it's the way I say things that trigger people. And so I know when these energies come in, I really have to step back a lot. I remember one time I was at my daughter's, and my ex-son-in-law, one of his friends was over, and he comes walking through the dining room all pissed off. I am such a stupid dumbass. Well, he actually used called himself a motherfucking dumbass or something like that. And me, it just slipped out. It's like, well, at least you can admit it. I said, most people can't. Well, I didn't mean it any harm in it. I mean, I was being sincere. At least he could admit it, And, well, it caused a huge fight with my son-in-law and my daughter. And my daughter's like, Mom, that was kind of rude. How is it rude? He's the one who said it. I didn't say it. I just agreed. And so that, I think, is where so many of us are at right now. You're teetering between those, as much as our consciousness knows, and we're fully stepping in and allowing that consciousness to settle in. There's still that part of that human personality that is dying away, that is sarcastic, that is intolerant, that has no patience. But by the same token, as it falls away, more is being presented, and more is being presented. Stormy, I'm great at pissing people off with unpopular truths too. Well, that's what we're here for. And had we not gone through the shit we've gone through, we wouldn't be able to do that, And that's truly what, I know. That's truly what standing in our power is we have to stand in the knowing of those unpopular truths, and that's the beauty of it. But this full moon is magical, truly. These energies going forward, especially once we get into September, you're really going to start seeing those new higher trajectory timelines that we've now fully engaged in, fully anchored them in, really starting to take place. A lot of new beginnings. This is really going to bring in those. Well, let's get away from the word new. How about we change it to this? How about we say fresh? That's a better descriptive word, fresh beginnings. And, if you guys really observe, you're really finding your thought conscious every time you try to, for some, every time you try to focus on that past, it's, you know, if you observe things around you, or the phone will ring, or something will happen, or something around you will bring you out of, whereas before it was easy to sit there while you're having your coffee and worry and stress and this, that, and the other. You're fine. If you observe, you will see where it's your consciousness is the newer aspect of your consciousness is not allowing you to dwell and wallow. It's much easier to change your focus, change your thought consciousness now. And that's magical, you know, and that's happening for even those that aren't on a journey. You know, say there's a family member that would very easily um, explode, even if they're still erupting in anger or something like that. If you observe and pay attention, they're not exploding as bad. They're not erupting as bad. Um, and it doesn't last as long. It's over much quicker. And if you really want to truly understand at a deeper level the work that we do, even though it seems like it's just our wounds that we're clearing and or have been clearing and healing, and you know, you have me and others that say we're conduits, make it impersonal, emotionally detached, because yes, we're doing it for ourselves, but we're doing it for the generations and the ancestors and the collective, and yada 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 yada. And if this is where you can really see how powerful the healing and clearing and releasing of the energies within ourselves and our own experiences truly does affect everything and everyone. Because here you have many that are not on the journey, that have chosen not to ascend and fully awaken, to stay in that karmic wheel of reincarnation. Like what the example I just used, you know, somebody exploding in rage, and now they may explode, but it doesn't last as long. It's not as intense, it's not as heavy as it used to be. And that's what we've done for the collective. We have made it not as explosive, if you will. And you know, where it said that, where it is stated, was where one goes, all goes. Where all goes, one goes. Everybody will ascend. That is very accurate. Everybody will ascend. However, they're not all going to ascend to the same timeline frequency. Some are going to go to the higher 4D and lower 5D. Some are going to go to frequency timelines of 7, 8, 12, 14, whatever. And those that are not physically ascending their soul in this cycle, if you will, even they will ascend to, even though they will reincarnate, even they will ascend to a higher frequency. No one will, this ascension has pulled everybody up, even those that will reincarnate and continue on their soul's evolution. Grant, they will still be in 3D like atmosphere, but it will not in any way be near as laden with darkened energies and in what humanity calls evil energies as they experience now, as we have experienced in this lifetime and past lifetimes. And that's a beautiful thing. When you can really truly understand at a deeper level, and this is what's coming in for all of this light is bringing in for us as that soul settles into the physical vessel. Is it possible to know what density you'll ascend to? Look in the mirror. You want to know what frequency you're ascending to. In every given moment, look in the mirror. You can tell by the frequency you're at. And the more you choose to evolve that frequency, the more I didn't say that right. Let me restate that. You can change your frequency in any given moment, sweetheart. It's not so much as knowing what dimensional frequency you're going to. What's important to focus on is this. Because you will know you will ascend or materialize your highest trajectory timeline if you observe what you have been focusing on throughout your journey. See, one angle of this ascension cycle, if you liken it to this, you've been healing all the wounds, right? You've been healing all the aches and the pains and the secrets and the wounded walls and everything around your heart, right? You've been healing the mind. At the same time, you are collapsing, neutralizing those timelines of pain, lack, and suffering. At the same time, you're converging and merging every timeline experience that you've had in any incarnation and any generational or ancestral lifetime of every good positive experience that was joyful, that was blissful, that was the exact contrast of pain, lack, and suffering. And we're bringing all of those because nothing under the sun ever changes. It just recycles itself. So even though it's brand new, it's just recycled energy that we have, that was condensed, that we have spread out back into light particles of its original source, just to reform and bring back together in a crystalline form. So we're bringing in, converging all of those higher trajectory experiences into one. For example, does that make sense? How I explain that? If not, let me give you another example from another perspective angle. Liken it to just popped into my head and it popped out. Liken it to this. Well, you know, guys, I can give you every angle of perspective I can come up with, but our minds cannot wrap around truly the glory that we are manifesting. Somebody just asked me something about lost souls, and there they come up again. Let's see. What about the spirits or lost souls? What happens with them? You know, there's going to be a lot of different observational opinions on this. So I'm going to answer it from what Spirit has shown me. But sweetheart, I encourage you to go within and ask for clarity on what I tell you. Because I can already tell you it's not going to come across completely accurate, but I will give you the best description I can give you if that works, okay? Just go within and ask for clarity, that if there is any distortion in what I say, ask Spirit to give you full clarity. That's all I ask. But to answer your question, I'm going to answer it like this. There's 7.8 billion fractals of our soul, right? And throughout your journey, you know how I say many of us say that we all play roles for each other, right? People cross our path, whether it's for, that saying, a season, a month, a season, a lifetime, whatever it is. When we learn that lesson or go through that initiation and clear it, or bring that fractal of our soul essence back into ourselves, and people fall away at the different frequencies you evolve to, right? They become what I'm going to refer to as backdrop actors, zombies, soulless. And there's more categories, but I'm going to liken it to those 3 categories just for this purpose. The lost souls, the souls that are trapped in the astral plane, we're crossing them over. There's many of us out there that, and even many of you, if you observe, you've had souls come to you and you've had experiences, or your friends have, and you've heard, well, I had these souls come to me and I've had to help cross them over. And that's what we've been doing in this, because the veil is the astral 4D plane. Any lost souls, that's where they get trapped in, is that astral plane. So we're ascending them with us as we go along as well. Because when you remove the veil, the 4D astral plane, when you have shattered your own halls of Amenti, people want to argue that life is not a mirror, it's not a reflection, that at some point you can shatter the mirrors. And I'm the first one to tell you, yes, you can. However, as long as you're in flesh, it's always going to be a reflective mirror, regardless of what you observe or anything else, because we're conduits. And until you go into that full crystalline light body. But as you remove that veil, all the dead come alive. Because death is not real. It's only veiled from the human person. So the more you evolve in frequency to, the more spirits show themselves to you. And the more you start seeing that which you thought was dead. You start seeing the ancestors. You start seeing your grandma and grandpappy and your parents and aunt and uncles and family that had passed over before. So there really is no lost souls. That too is part of that 3D matrix, if that makes sense. And that's why I say validate it within for you, because I can see it from a different... I understand that none of it's real, as much as it seems real. And I understand and understand that Lost Souls was part of the game of good and evil. Does that make sense? Did that answer your question, sweetheart? But that's why I say, if you need deeper clarity, go within and validate it. Because for me, Spirit has shown me that there's in all actuality, in the higher, from the higher frequency consciousness, there is no lost souls. Um, yes, trapped in astral. We also help crossover. Okay, Jackie, good. So, I mean, I'm not trying to give you a wrong answer, or I can only give you what Spirit has shown me. And Spirit has shown me that there really is no lost souls, that too was just part of the learning experience of that 3D, 4D matrix grid. And the more we really truly focus on that fresh, on that higher trajectory frequency, those visions that you've been shown, the see, like I seen the future when I remembered all my past lives, and I'm including the future in that too, right? I remembered the future past lives before I remembered the ancient past lives, even though I remembered them all at the same time, if you will. And throughout our journeys, in your meditations, visions, stuff like that, you've been shown, and the majority of us have been shown an existence of a very tropical location. Some say it's Hawaii, some say it's the Caribbean, some say it's around Brazil, South Africa, this, that, and the other. We have all been showing those higher trajectory timelines that we're moving into. And that's why it's really helpful to write down and journal your dream time and stuff like that, because it's the minute details in your dream time and stuff that when you in your meditations, if you write it down right away, those minute details are not the things that you remember down the road. You'll remember the bigger parts of the dream, but the clue and the message is really in the smaller details. And you will find that in many of those visions, many of those dreams times, that which you thought was lost or had died or this and that is very present in some of those visions and some of those dreams. And that's again because we're bringing all experiences. There's no veils in a higher consciousness between the future, the past, those who have died before you, those that will transcend in the future. And that's where this full moon is really going to help shift this thought consciousness. It's really going to help keep you more in the now. Focus on today, what's happening right now, rather than so much stress and worry. And why is that? Because that it's cleansing us of that unworthiness, that undeserving, that distrust. Is it still going to be prevalent? Of course, because as with any energy that comes in, you know, it has to release and to purge. And so when Jesse asked about how do you determine what frequency you're at, and I said, look in the mirror. Your eyes can tell you anything you want to know. You want to see what frequency you're at? How clear are your eyes? How much light is in your eyes? You are the light you allow to shine through you, whether that's condensed light or whether that's light. And in any given minute, moment, breath, you can change that frequency. You can tell the frequency you're on by your thoughts, by your emotions, how you're feeling. And, when I start to feel off balance, I immediately, okay, team, okay, spirit, send a beam of light through me and raise my frequency. And that's what I do, though. And, you know, I can only share what works for me, guys. And, you know, I get the leg cramps, stuff like that. I immediately drink water. It takes them away. And, but you will notice, truly, it's much easier to find the magic in these emotional moments. It's much easier to shift when you catch it, you know, when you start to, your sister's irritating you, or your family's getting on you, or this, that, and the other. It's much easier to walk away without engaging. It's much easier to excuse yourself to go breathe rather than react. And it's much easier to shift, if you notice and you observe. It's much easier to shift from, whereas before you would leave, say you got in a fight with your family, and you would leave and you would brood about it all night long, and no matter what the boyfriend or girlfriend could do, nothing could cheer you up. You brooded all night long. Or for some, you brooded for 3, 4, 5 days. You brooded for a month. You're finding that it's much easier to shift out of it. You can walk away, and when you do walk away, it's almost like your team, if you will, changes your focus for you. And that you're going to find that's going to occur more and more and more through this, with these full moon energies, as it truly purifies and cleanses those energies of unworthiness and distrust and undeserving and lack and struggle out of our consciousness, if you will. And that's a magical thing. That truly is magical. So, and the more we go forward, the more our ancestors will be present. The more you will see what seems to appear form and physical. You'll see the ascended masters, you'll see the angels, you'll see the star families. That's why I say disclosure is a frequency. And the higher in frequency you evolve, that's just like every experience you have is based on a frequency. In this particular, you got layers of frequency. In this particular frequency, you may experience lying, cheating, and gang fighting. And in these timeline frequencies right above it, maybe you're gonna be observing and experiencing in the outside world a lot of information on pedophilia, on an awful lot of murders in the news, robberies, this, that, and the other. And on this frequency, maybe you're not so much experiencing or observing pedophilia, but now you're observing more joyful experiences. And say on these timeline frequencies, you're experiencing volcanoes, and on this one you're experiencing a tropical vacation. And I mean, there's different frequencies. So the higher in frequency you evolve to, those lower experiences will fall away. That's where so much debate comes in, especially in the spiritual community, about, well, how can you say that pedophilia and all this evil does not exist? Because in my physical reality, it doesn't match the frequency that I exist at. Therefore, it's not in my awareness, unless even It don't matter on my news feed. And if I watch a movie, if I watch the news, there's nothing that pertains to it. Unless somebody brings it into my reality, or I, I bring it into my reality. And that's hard for the human aspect to fathom. But everything is a frequency. So many are caught up in this law of attraction stuff. Even the law of attraction says, you know, Abraham Hicks, all of them sit there and say, focus on that which you want. Feel it. Create it. Visualize it. Because that's what brings it in for you. Match the frequency, because everything already exists for you. You just have to match that frequency. Everything out there tells you that. And that's just another angle of looking at it. Because every experience at every level of frequency, certain frequencies you're going to purge and clear and experience these wounds, these particular templates. When you transcend that layer of the onion, you go to another frequency. Each frequency has 7 levels of clearing. Yeah. So, you know, that's why some of the collective is at this frequency and they're experiencing this, and this is the wounds that their templates they're going through. And some of us, that's why some of us are really blissful at times, and at the same time, quarter of us or half of us or 3/4 of us are miserable and purging and going through intense emotions, and yet others aren't, because there's different timelines and different experiences, different thought forms, different collectives on different frequencies. That's what holding space is. That's what it means to accept and not judge anybody on their path. But the human wants to label. The human wants to call him a liar, that call him a false prophet, call him fake, call him dark. But yet in all actuality, it's just energy, frequency, and vibration. At one point in time, all of us were in the same frequency, saying and doing the exact same behavior patterns, because those templates are within all of us, and we're conduits. So, say you want to win $300 million, or you want $300 million inheritance. It already exists for you. There's nothing you can think of right now that you can imagine that does not already exist in one way or another. If it crosses your mind, you have already experienced it and created it. Remember, nothing under the sun is new. It's just recycled. It's an infinity. It always loops. Energy always loops back. And so, in every given moment, what is in this now moment, what is presented for you? How you react to it, how you think about it, how you emotionally attach to it, is dictating what you're creating for your future. The only thing you don't know about it is what characters are going to be playing in it, or how exactly it will play out. And that in and of itself at the higher frequencies is totally magical, because you can expand it to whatever you want. You just got to match the frequency and it will appear. It's really, really, really simple. The higher you evolve in frequency and the more you master your inner standing of your power, of just how powerful you are, you master the power of your light and the responsibility of it, it's very simple to create your heavenly realms. The key is the patience of it. Create it, surrender it, and let it materialize. But as long as you focus on that you don't have it, you will never match that frequency to have it materialize. So if you want disclosure, you want to live in those city of lights where you have your galactic families living side by side, focus on that. Raise your frequency to that. Ask yourself, spirit, your team, to help you manifest those frequencies. It really is that easy, guys. It really, truly is that easy. I hope that helps. Anyways, I'm off, guys, to meditate under the full moon. I love you guys. Have a big, big, big magical full moon for a fresh new beginning. I hope I helped. That truly is my intention, guys. And you know, if there's anything you guys want me to do a video on or something, either message me or put it in the comments on where I say I'm going to go live on my YouTube. And I'll do a video on whatever it is that you guys want to talk on, if I can help. That's my intention. I'm glad I helped, guys. I love you. Big, big hugs and blessings. Happy full moon. And leap. Allow yourselves to leap into the unknown and truly slam the door and walk away from the past, from the old, guys. Allow yourself to see everything and everyone brand new, even if they show up from the past. Or like families, and you have betrayal and everything else within the family that hasn't been dealt with. Try and see them through brand new, because you're brand new. Your consciousness is fresh. And it's only the human that sees through the wounds, that old thought consciousness. So truly allow yourselves to even see the betrayal and everything else. If you're having to deal with family or anything else, even see that through your higher consciousness that you're embodying rather than the past experiences. Because again, the power of your light can transform anything if your thoughts don't keep emotionally attaching to the wounds and the stories of the past. So dance. Dance right into a brand new you. I love you guys. Good night.